Engineer 775 here, excited to share with you the latest on distillation off-grid. Looked at a lot of different ways to distill water. I've run a lot of different products, made a lot of homemade pressure cooker type products with coils, and then I came across this. And I was real excited to see the design of this. This is the WaterWise 1600 non-electric or off-grid distiller that can run basically on any heat source. This is the collection tray inside. Has a cool little screen that keeps any water that's boiling from getting in the collection system. But the true genius of this are these three trays where the steam comes from the bottom up through and gets inside of each one of these trays. And you'll see these dimples. Looks like it got in a hailstorm. But the water inside each tray will form on the dimples and then drip down and is all collected down through the center column into a tube into your final destination, whatever container. We're going to use this Pyrex glass container. So the cool thing is there's a lot of surface area, there's a lot of convection, a lot of condensation going on, and that's the key to distillation. And in other contraptions, I haven't seen that kind of surface area. This thing produces more water, sometimes 2 to 3 times what I've seen in other distillers. So I wanted to share this with you. I ran it on an electric stove, which to me isn't impressive to be able to run a distiller on an electric stove because you might not have electricity. Okay, we've put our water that we want to distill in the WaterWise 1600. And there's kind of a little baffle in here, kind of lets you know your fill line so you can see where your water's at. And then we're going to put I call them the condensation trays on top. And in each tray you put 1 liter of water. It does, obviously, you can use your non-potable water. So this is the same water that you would be actually distilling. The other cool thing is once this water is hot, if you have to make multiple batches, I would take the water out of the trays, it's already preheated, and run that into the pot. I'd pour that water back into the pot and distill this water because you'll save a lot of energy and a lot of time. So a lot of experimenting to be done, but fundamentally this thing works flawlessly. Okay, we've just started our distillation cycle. And we set our timer to 30 minutes because we want to come back in 30 minutes and check on this. But you can see the Hunter's I got it cranked all the way open. And I ran this last night in the kitchen. The cool thing was my wife didn't even know. There's no smoke, there's no steam that comes off of this unit because of the condensation. So you don't even know that you're actually distilling. There's a vent cap here. You want to make sure that it's loose, that it is venting. And that's that. Nice and loose. You got cool water on this side, hot water on this side, and we're going to come back and check our production here in a little bit. So we started our timer, we're down, we'll check in 30 minutes. So 10 minutes, I think the camera will pick it up. You can hear the hot is starting to really rumble here, so we're starting to get hot where we can start boiling off water. So we started with a full pot, almost a little too full. And just starting to see a little steam. Yeah, I gotta stop looking in the pot, right? Is that true? A watch pot never boils? I don't think so. But anyway, this is a perfect setup. I love the Hunter, Silverfire Hunter, because the combustion's so clean. I mean, this thing is cranking, whether you believe it or not. I don't know if you can see a heat signature coming off of there. No, maybe you can I can't see it on the camera. So this is a great setup. The Hunter, the WaterWise 1600. If you want to distill water, this is the way to go. Okay, our condensate has started to flow around 12 minutes into the cycle. We'll see it coming out of the tube. There she comes. So there's our distilled water. Coming at a pretty good rate. Oops. Alright, that, folks, could save your life. And we haven't tried this with seawater because we know that seawater is pretty aggressive, but I would use it even if it tore up the pot and the equipment. just to be able to do this in a disaster situation. I wouldn't care if the stainless steel was eaten away. If I could make, they saying 16 gallons of distilled water in a 24-hour period. Obviously, that's a lot of energy, and but you could do it off of biomass in a pretty stealth fashion. So we'll check on it in a little bit and see what we can make here. Okay, we're getting right at our, I would say we're at a steady state production of distillate, and it's nice and consistent. Again, this process is slow, but it's making good water. So about 12 minutes into it, there's our timer. We're about 12 minutes into it when we started producing. We've been going 18 minutes of actually making potable water, distilled water. We're going to reset the timer and come back. Okay, what we were able to do here? We're able to produce a lot of good potable water. We're getting over 2 quarts per hour, which is about 12 gallons a day. We're getting about 12 gallons a day. Now this was our first test. The manufacturer claims 16 gallons a day. We got at least 12, so we're pretty close. And we're also outside. It's very windy and cool this morning, so maybe my heat transfer is not as good on the pot as it could be. Could do some things like insulate the pot here, and I think the cooling off. You see, I'm getting some steam off of these condensation trays, so maybe because I'm outside, I'm not getting the best. There goes our alarm. So yeah, a little over two quarts in an hour. It's 12 gallons a day. So I'm pretty happy. You can see the Hunter's burning perfectly. Really good match for the Waterwise distiller. So the other thing we're going to do is going to take and continue this. We're going to take this warm condensing tray water and pour it into the bottom and keep this process going. So this is, though it is hot, I think I could drink it. That's awesome, actually. That's distilled water, and a lot of it. I'm looking forward to trying some seawater and seeing, or brackish water. This is just well water, which was fine, but that's what we had to test. So hope that made sense. This is this is the most water I've ever distilled in this period of time. Very happy with the performance. It was very simple to use, and the combination of the Waterwise 1600 and the Hunter from Silverfire is a pretty neat package. So anyway, if you've got any questions or comments, I'd like to hear them. If you can beat that production rate, I'd also like to hear that too. This is Engineer 775 signing out. Yes, the Hunter gets plenty hot, and I see this cavern of aluminum almost melted through. But just to show you that the Hunter gets hot, that is, yeah, there's a hole in it now. Just melted that aluminum plate and made cool stalactites. Let's see, yeah, there you go. Made a cool aluminum stalactite.